Welcome back to another episode of Looked Over. Today we're going to be discussing the DT&I Berks and Mikados. And it's not going to be me talking, it's going to be my good buddy Waffle. So, Waffle, take it away.
The Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton Railroad bought 6 Berkshire-type locomotives from the Lima Locomotive Works in 2 orders. 4 ordered in 1935, road numbers 700 through 703, and 2 ordered in 1939, road numbers 704 and 705. The first batch weighed 411,500 pounds each, with the second batch weighing 416,000 pounds each. All 6 engines had 63-inch drivers, 25 by 30-inch cylinders, and a boiler pressure of 260 psi, which all culminated in a tractive effort of 65,780 pounds. The Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton's main line between Detroit, Michigan, and Ironton, Ohio traversed both flatlands and rolling hills. As such, these 284s were well suited to provide the speed and pulling power necessary for this railroad. The fireboxes on these engines had 76 square feet, or 7.05 square meters of circulators. These were later replaced by 48 square feet, or 4.45 square meters of arch tubing. 14-inch, or 356 millimeter piston valves supplied steam to the cylinders. These engines were relatively small for 284s. They were built in response to a rising demand for fast freight service out of the automobile plants in the Detroit area. The result, says Drury in 1993, was a design that looked like, quote, condensed nickel-plate Berkshires, unquote. They took their place as the elite class as they, quote, were decades more modern than anything else on the property, unquote. The author of the same Waverly Info article reports that the engines were almost instantly crew favorites on the railroad because they were decades ahead of other motive power. These engines' niches could be found in mineral traffic. Quote, the 700s became the preferred locomotive on the south end over Summit to Glen John, Greggs, and Jackson because of their superior performance and handling of coal and ore drags, unquote. There were problems with the design, at least as far as their service on the DT&I was concerned. The railroad was too narrow in places, south of Jackson being a main example, and much of the right-of-way was badly conditioned for the engine's weight. Moreover, the 4-wheel Commonwealth trailing truck proved troublesome in yard switching duty with its high axle loading, and the large 12-wheel tender was a problem on the light rails of passing sidings and in yard trackage. The verdict on the all-weather cabs was mainly a seasonal matter. In the winter, they were great, but, quote, summer was dreaded. Crewmen would open all the doors and windows, and even wore an extra set of coveralls to protect themselves from the intense heat in the cabs of those engines, unquote. Whatever the issues, the engines were simply too modern to give up that easily. The DT&I would operate these engines until the end of steam on the railroad in 1956. Unlike most railroads, the DT&I passed over the 282-wheel arrangement and instead purchased 15 decapods in 1918. A short time after the Pennsylvania Railroad purchased the DT&I, it sent a few of its locomotives, including E2 class Atlantics, L1 class Mikados, and H10 class Consolidations, which, for a time, satisfied its needs for motive power. When additional locomotives were needed in the early 1940s, the 282-wheel arrangement was deemed to be the correct choice, and 12 were purchased from the Lima Locomotive Works. These 12 Mikados were built by the Lima Locomotive Works and delivered to groups of 4 each in 1940, 1941, and 1944. They were assigned the road numbers 800 through 811. These locomotives had 63-inch diameter drivers, 23 by 30-inch cylinders, a maximum working boiler pressure of 200 psi, and tractive effort of 55,671 pounds. Each locomotive weighed 369,500 pounds. These engines had a firebox grate area of 290 square feet with an evaporative heating surface of 4,009 square feet. And, adding the superheater, the combined heating surface was 5,824 square feet. There were 2 other Mikados added to the DT&I roster in 1948. These 2 locomotives were second-hand Pennsylvania Railroad Class L1 282s, one numbered 1642 and the other numbered 3642. There are no surviving Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton Mikados.
Personally, I think the DT&I Berks and Mikados are very, very beautiful engines. Even though they were not really that looked upon by a lot of rail fans, DT&I fans find them really interesting. So, in my wholehearted opinion, on my scale of really nice engines to just like, this will get like an 8.2 out of 10 for me. Strong contender for some of the best looking locomotives I've ever seen. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you tune into the next episode of Looked Over. Catch y'all in the next one. Gabe out.